So you're saying Jets have better odds than the Dolphins do?
Well, yeah. I mean, at least Rodgers will play most of the games.
Oh, so now, okay. So now he's a factor. All right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hold on. I'm not going to lie to you. Zach Wilson to Aaron Rodgers. Even though Aaron Rodgers is washed up and done, him at his worst is 20 times better than Zach Wilson's best year will ever be.
I agree.
So it's a testament to, yes, Rodgers' greatness from his past, not his present, his past. And it's also a testament to just how god-awful Zach Wilson is. So the Jets should get better instantly. I just think Buffalo's actually plus 130, lower than I thought. Okay. The Jets I just don't think they're going to be what everybody thinks they're going to be.
On this episode of Bustin' Chops, Calling Shots, we talk everything NBA Finals, of course, going on right now. Denver does get the win to come up 2-1. We talk about Anthony Davis potentially is up for an extension. Potentially Lakers aren't interested. Carmelo Anthony is retiring. We talk a little bit about his career. Is Kyrie trying to get LeBron to come to Dallas? And then Frank Vogel is the new head coach of the Suns. We also talk about professional golf. LIV joins with the PGA. What does that mean? None of us really know, but we pontificate on that one. Of course, we talk about the NFL. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, they cancel minicamp next week. And then Jordan Love, what's his next steps in the NFL? He's potentially making huge strides. And then Hopkins visits the Titans. We also break down the AFC East and win totals, and we take our crack at what we think Vegas picked for those.
Say anything about gambling. It's not gambling, you know.
You're listening to Bustin' Chops and Callin' Shots.
Welcome back, our winners, to another episode of Bustin' Chops, Callin' Shots, episode 73. Here in the lovely month of June, we have Game 3 of the NBA Finals going on. Chop is still gone, but he's well taken care of as he's doing his normal routine of sending us lovely pictures of all the food, of the lovely scenery.
It's like he has no compassion for those of us that work for a living.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. You hear very little from him, but when he's on vacation, all of a sudden, he starts sending pictures. And so, I find that very,
I know.
Very nice, to keep us updated. Thank you, Chop. And we promise this episode, we'll try and stay away from any political stuff. Although we will talk a little bit about LIV and PGA, so surely there'll be some heated controversial topics there. But nonetheless, we are back, and we are, and of course, John is with us as well. John, heard you guys had a fun doubleheader weekend and moving into another one here. And how's everything going with coaching and everything else you got going on in your crazy life?
Going good, man. Going good. Yeah, this team beat us up pretty good back in the fall. And so we scrimmaged them, won 14-11 and 11-9. So the girls are hitting the ball better. We got a big tournament coming up this weekend. So I'm looking forward to the girls doing some pretty awesome things. And other than that, man, just kind of hanging out, trying to pick winners.
Welcome back, our winners, to another episode of Bustin' Chops, Callin' Shots, episode 73. Here in the lovely month of June, we have Game 3 of the NBA Finals going on. Chop is still gone, but he's well taken care of as he's doing his normal routine of sending us lovely pictures of all the food, of the lovely scenery.
It's like he has no compassion for those of us that work for a living. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. You hear very little from him, but when he's on vacation, all of a sudden, he starts sending pictures. And so, I find that very,
I know.
Very nice, to keep us updated. Thank you, Chop. And we promise this episode, we'll try and stay away from any political stuff. Although we will talk a little bit about LIV and PGA, so surely there'll be some heated controversial topics there. But nonetheless, we are back. And we are, and of course, John is with us as well. John, heard you guys had a fun doubleheader weekend and moving into another one here. And how's everything going with coaching and everything else you got going on in your crazy life?
Going good, man. Going good. Yeah, we this team beat us up pretty good back in the fall, and so we scrimmaged them, won 14-11 and 11-9. So the girls are hitting the ball better. We got a big tournament coming up this weekend, so I'm looking forward to the girls doing some pretty awesome things. And other than that, man, just kind of hanging out, trying to pick winners. I was hesitant, wasn't going to give the Nats out, but I was like, Corbin's been pitching well. Nats scored a lot of runs yesterday, but I felt way better about the Mets. But as fate has it, it looks like 0-2. The Mets blow a lead. So, but we'll see what happens. Jeez, I mean, no luck. I love Verlander tomorrow, plus 145. Somebody give me a suitcase. Well, actually, there's no suitcases left in life, just little Ziploc baggies these days with the streak I'm on.
That means
something. Somebody give me a Ziploc.
That means something completely different in other industries. But we'll stay with sports gambling for now.
Yeah.
Guys, real quick, just wanted to do some housekeeping here. BetOnline is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Thanks to BetOnline for being our sponsor of the show. You can get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports, and of course, this year's NBA playoffs and NBA finals. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs, basketball, MLB, NHL, hockey, right into UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games so you can play right from your home. So make sure you head over to the website today and use your mobile device to get on the action. So be sure to check out our promo code as well, BLEAV, BELIEVE, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. And of course, I would be remiss not to mention, for all of you who haven't followed us on the social yet, please check us out on the socials, Instagram and Facebook, Bustin Chops, Callin Shots, and then on TikTok and Twitter at BCCS Sports. You can also check us out on YouTube if you guys are listening to us on podcast at BCCS Sports. And then, of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, hi there. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Head over to our podcast channel anywhere you can find it, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, and please subscribe. That would be amazing. But before we jump into all of the sports news of the day, let's talk about the NBA Finals, which are going on right now, Game 3, and we're watching the middle of it. Of course, you guys will hear this tomorrow, and you'll already know the result. But we're witnessing it real time here. They of course are in Miami, and the Heat were kind of keeping close there for a while, and they still are definitely within striking distance. But the Nuggets are starting to pull away here. So, thoughts on tonight's game, John? Game 3 of what you've seen so far.
Well, it's played out. I mean, I'm a little mad at myself because I really did like the Nuggets money line. But I thought the Nuggets would bounce back. Now, everybody pounded the Nuggets. Pros, Joes. Only 12% of the handle was on the Heat, so the whole world was on the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. But hey, sometimes the public's right. Now, Denver was in the same situation last game, right? Up 15, blew it. They're up 16 right now. Jokic, 26 points, 17 boards, 8 assists with 2 minutes left in the third. They're not going to blow this one. I'd be shocked if they did. But I tell you what, we needed this because we got that big series parlay.
Yeah. We
need Denver in 6. Got to have Denver in 6. And look, Florida, we need them to somehow win 2 games in this series. I mean, I don't know how because Vegas has beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah, they're looking really good.
But look, I think the play is, regardless of what happens here with the Nuggets, I think you look to you're probably going to be around minus 225, minus 230. But I think you need to take a parlay Knights and Nuggets money line series bet to move on.
Nice. Yeah, I mean,
it's a good play.
Certainly after the last game, and I know there were some controversial calls to sort of end the game, and you can never blame it on the refs or anything. I think, Miami won that game fair and square and stole that game in Denver. But yeah, when I saw the Denver drop that, I did think about you a little bit about that series bet. I was wondering kind of, if that had made you start to sweat, because when I saw that, I thought, okay, this thing's for sure going 7. Now I know Denver's got 2 games at home to end the series, but I don't know. I feel like when I saw them steal that game, I thought there was a good chance this thing can go the distance.
Well, what helps us here is I thought it was 2-3-2. It's actually 2-2-1-1-1. So
no
if
kidding.
Denver steals this game, yeah, even if Miami wins game 4, they're not winning another game in Denver, right? So Denver's going to be 3-2 going back to Miami game 6. Now, I could also see, call me crazy, I could see Denver run off 3 straight here. Again, Denver was very impressive game 1. Let Miami crawl back in the game. Game 2, look at how poor Denver played, and they still had a chance to tie it at the horn. Denver has not played well this series. They really had, like, they just went up 19 right now. Like, Denver, Spoelstra's the best coach in the NBA, regardless of what happens here on out. But Denver is the far, far superior, better team. This thing could be over. It could be over in 5. It could be over. It really could.
No.
All Denver's got to do is play half a defense. If they halfway play defense, they're going to win the series in 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, well, for your sake,
it's like Bill Murray. Remember that in Space Jam? Remember Space Jam, the original one, the real Space Jam?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No, Bill, we're on defense. Whoa, I don't play defense. That's the Nuggets.
Yeah, their defense has not been the greatest this series for sure. And but yeah, for your sake and our sake, I hope you're right. I don't have an argument there. You're certainly following this much more closely than I do, and that's why we pay you the big bucks around here to do all that wonderful research. So yeah. Speaking of Denver, let's talk about one of Denver's. This is something I definitely want to talk about. Let's talk about one of the Denver's biggest draft picks. And a gentleman who's announced retirement recently, and is somebody who will certainly go down as one of the better players, certainly in our generation. Carmelo Anthony is announced that he's going to retire officially, and he's gotten flowers from all of his NBA counterparts on Twitter and other places as well. Carmelo Anthony, I mean, out of Syracuse, just I think. Was always an impressive player, and certainly thought that he could have done quite a bit more than he did in his career, but he still had a great career. It's been, he's sort of had the durability and lasted, a good amount of time in the league, and certainly has accolades to go with it, kind of minus, if I'm not mistaken, minus an NBA championship, right? So outside of that, 10 NBA All-Stars. I mean, obviously he won a championship at Syracuse, NBA scoring champion in 2013. He's got a couple gold medals, so, Carmelo, we thank you for, showing us, the greatness that you are, and we wish you the best moving forward, but a great player, and certainly someone that, deserves all the accolades. Although, he didn't really ever get the big one, right?
Man, you must love some Melo.
Yeah. I just always respected him.
That was very heartstrung.
Yeah.
Like, totally glossed over the fact that he drank way more liquor than he did carrying about championships.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Melo. Look, Melo, what Melo did with that 2003 Syracuse teams is still one of the greatest runs of a college basketball player. And Carmelo Anthony, from a pure scoring standpoint, right? A lot of people may not know this or may not realize it. Melo was one of the best pure scorers the NBA ever saw.
Yeah.
Problem with Melo is, and I'm not knocking his greatness. Hey, look, far better than I ever was, right? But the reality was he never reached his full potential because Melo was all about Melo and all about kind of partying. Like, people forget, if you take it back to 2003, him and LeBron, you could have made the argument then Melo was better.
Yeah.
When they came out together.
If it wasn't for LeBron, he would have been the number one player coming out of college that year for sure. Or coming into the draft, I should say. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they took two very different paths.
Sure.
LeBron took the work. Melo took the pay and the not taking things serious. Look, those Denver teams Melo was on, that one of those Denver teams, they should have made it to the finals at least once.
Yes. Yeah.
Agreed. Right? I mean, I know you had to go through Kobe and all, but I mean, like, even when they brought in AI, and maybe that wasn't the best thing for Melo because AI a lot like Melo, right? But even then, and then going to New York, it was really sad, I thought, because he was supposed to be the savior. And I'm not going to put what happened in New York all on Melo, but coaching front, they just could never get it right. So it's really sad. And it goes back to what we talked about last week, right? When you talk about Jimmy Butler and players deciding, do I want money or do I want money and control, or do I want to be on a team, right? Mm-hmm. So look at Duncan's path with the Spurs. And then look what Kawhi chose to do. And yes, I understand Kawhi won a title with the Raptors, but it took a miracle falling out of bounds 3, and it took Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry all getting hurt and out of the finals for Toronto to squeak by that series. So you can make the argument, and that's why I want to see Wembanyama. Where I'm going with this is, if Wembanyama follows the Duncan path, Kawhi's going to be the one you look at and be like, man, why didn't he just stay in San Antonio and he'd have like 4 more titles?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of like Melo. You always wanted the money of the Knicks. You always wanted to be in New York, but it had to be about you instead of find a team. And again, I'm not going to knock anybody for getting money. I mean, God, I need a couple bucks after going 0-2 again, but I think you really got to balance that out. When you talk about greatness, there's a lot of great players that came in the league. I mean, probably one of the greatest ever was Len Bias, right? A bad decision and he drops dead. So talent is great. And we see these people and we're like, oh man, this is amazing. Just the skill set and all that. But then when you look at it, you're like, yeah, but you know what I mean? And I kind of feel like that with Melo. Mm-hmm. Is he a great player? Yes. Do I think he's a Hall of Famer? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
But hey, these days we let anybody not name Pete Rose into every Hall of Fame. So that means nothing like it did when I was a kid. We just let everybody in. I mean, Joe down at the deli baking bagels, you can get in the NFL Hall of Fame. So,
I do feel like it gets thrown around.
Hey, Marge delivering mail for USPS, you're in the NBA Hall of Fame. I mean, we let everybody in there.
Yeah. Yeah. It does feel like I hear that term thrown around a lot more often than maybe I've ever remember. It's just like future Hall of Famer. And it's just like, well,
I heard it on ESPN the other day. Well, Kyrie, for all of his stuff, is a future Hall of Famer. I threw up and pooped myself all in the same reflex.
Yeah.
I felt like I'd already hit my 80s with Depends on. Like, I threw up and pooped on myself all at the same time. It was like a prelude to a coming attraction of my future life.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, the way I look at it, we can bash on these current players all we want, but when a guy's retiring, he's out of the league, we got to give him his flowers. I'm not going to kick him, while he's, saying his farewell. I'm not saying he's my favorite player of all time. I just wanted to, kind of, just send him off.
I'm with it. Hey, look, if you asked him, he'd probably say the same thing I just said. Right?
He'd
probably be like, man, I wish I took him more serious.
At your funeral, I'll say at least that amount of, Well,
I'm glad you plan on me going first. I think, I don't know. Hey, dear God.
We'll see how the next year goes for both.
So dark here.
Well, I was going to say when you retire, but at this rate, it doesn't look like retirement's in any of our futures. So we're just going to work till we die.
I just got to say one more thing about Jokic.
Okay.
It astonishes me because I'm pretty sure if you put a picture of Jokic, body and head and look, he looks exactly like Greg Ostertag back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Greg Ostertag.
And Greg Ostertag couldn't dribble and chew bubblegum at the same time. And yet Jokic, now there's a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I can see that, especially if they win this.
No joking.
Looks like, well.
See what I did there?
No
Joker,
joking.
no joking. You
yeah.
see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just making sure you're following along there at home, kids.
Yeah. No, I heard it. Yeah. That was, I don't know, one of these I feel like, deserves. I don't have anything better. So we'll just go with that. Staying with the NBA a little bit, let's talk about AD. So apparently there's been talk out of LA that there's hesitation around extending Anthony Davis this next year, which I feel like that's a very controversial topic in and of itself. There's a lot of people that are like, wait, what?
Controversial?
Well, I feel like there's some people like, why would you like, and there's some people, that maybe don't question it, but there's some people that are like, I don't know, but I get I already know what you're going to say. I already know where you're coming from, but
show up to work.
But it is the Lakers, and its standards aren't very high when it comes to how much they'll pay people. So I'm just surprised, I guess, maybe more than controversial. It's a bit of surprise that the Lakers could take a stand here a little bit and sort of say, maybe we don't want to pay this guy that is not available that often. Even though he's 30 years old and he had a decent year this year, certainly a great playoffs. I don't know. I just feel like there's a few people that were surprised to hear that he wasn't going to get that extension. Maybe, possibly.
Well, those people are either homeless, drug addicts, or alcoholics.
Okay. So Chris Broussard on ESPN is
I want you to rationalize how you give somebody $160 million that shows up to work 25% of the time.
Yeah. Well, what do? You just let him walk and then
plays half the games. He plays half the games and plays well in half of those games. So he's a 25% performer.
Right. Right. But you don't just let him walk and then you lose all the potential trade capital that you have there, right? I mean, like someone surely would want him.
Who's going to trade for him?
Someone's going to.
What are you going to get?
I don't know. Someone want him.
Here's the problem. If you go to trade him, it's all going to come crashing downhill. Right?
Okay.
As far as their locker room and all.
Hmm.
And here's the thing I think the Lakers need to get back to that they had with Magic Johnson. And I do got to give it to Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka's actually did it didn't get off to a great start. But he has redeemed himself with what he's did, especially at the deadline this year. Say what you want to, but him and Magic Johnson, they won that title in the bubble. So this thing, it's not like it hasn't been a success.
Yeah.
But you're the Los Angeles Lakers, right? And I want you to just look around the league right now. If you could play anywhere, where would you want to go? South Beach in Miami, yes, but 90% of the players can't play in that culture, so they're out. As a free agent, Denver attracts you? Utah attracts you? Boston, Jaylen Brown's rumored to want out of there.
Heard that.
Dallas, there's no state tax, so maybe you get down with that. But the Los Angeles Lakers, I heard somebody say this earlier today. Look, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard went to the Clippers. It's LA.
Yeah.
And not only is it LA, it's the Lakers. So they're going to be able to attract with all the things LA has to offer. The Lakers are always going to be able to attract talent, even when LeBron leaves, as long as they play this right. Now, they have mortgaged their whole future draft picks and all that. So we're really going to see what Pelinka's made out of. But look, LeBron's not re-signing with the Lakers after this 2-year deal. If he even makes it that long, because there's all these rumors, I think he does. But when Bronny comes out, the Lakers aren't drafting Bronny, and LeBron ain't staying.
Yeah.
So you have 2 years left. If it were me and I'm the Lakers, yes, he's eligible for it, but I don't have to give it to him. Play this year. Play the year out.
Yeah.
Because the reality is the Lakers got this coming year to get it done, and then it's over. So when LeBron walks, my most expensive piece is going to be Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you think you have a shot without him though to get it done in the next 2 years?
Well, you're going to have him at least next year. You don't have to give him the extension right now.
Right.
He's eligible, but they can wait till the end of next year.
Got it. Yep.
So there's no way I'm giving him the bag early. I'm running it back with the same team, maybe one or two different pieces.
Yep.
And then after the end, if it's the same AD I got, I'm probably saying, look, LeBron's leaving next year. LeBron Where would you like to go? I'll trade you to get some of them 48 draft picks we let go for you.
Yeah, there you
Getting these role players and start. You got one more shot and it's next year. And I think they have a legit shot. I think Darvin Ham's a really good coach. If AD can stay healthy, I love what they did with Rui. You're going to have to pay, what's his name? Oh gosh. Reeves, you're going to have to pay him more money. You're going to have to pay Rui more money. You got some really good young role players. You need to find another big that can rebound, kind of be a goon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the Lakers only got one more shot to do this.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Bronny's in college next year. After that, he's leaving. If you're the Lakers, you're not drafting Bronny. Like, you're going to sell tickets anyway. You're the Lakers.
Right.
Like, you're the freaking Lakers. So they might as well rebuild. You're going to have some free agents out there and see what you can get. But I'm not signing up to give him 3 years, $160 million. No way.
Okay.
I'd give Jaylen Brown $300 million before I gave AD $160.
Whoa. Okay. Well, you
better player, more reliable.
I mean, he was fun to watch, for sure. While Boston was still in it. So you talked about LeBron. Did you mention to me earlier that like Kyrie's trying to lure him to Dallas? Like, what? How does that play into this?
That's
whole
the
thing?
rumor, but I think Kyrie's just trying to look. Kyrie is all about Kyrie.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to sell himself, and I think the Mavericks are going to give him this max contract. Which, if I'm Doncic, I'm like, look, if you sign that joker to a long-term deal, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
How is it?
I want to play with that buzzard. And look, neither one of them play a lick of defense.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're the Mavs, the only thing I can think of is Cuban's just like, all right, we're not going to win a title, so I might as well sell tickets. But look, if the Nuggets are doing what they're doing with Jokic, why can't the Mavs do that with Doncic?
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah. I don't even know. Did they like? I know we had such a small sample size of those two together, but do you feel like Doncic is like not really a big fan of Kyrie? Do you feel like how do you feel like he's approached this whole thing so far?
I think he's just trying to fill it out, but I think Luka's very, Luka's a hard dude to figure out.
Yeah, diplomatic maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but I think he's like Jokic in that you can build a team around him. Now, Doncic is going, I mean, he's so ball dominant as to where Jokic is much more of a passer, but Doncic can share the ball too. I think if you're Dallas, you just need to find the right pieces to put around him, but I don't think Kyrie is it.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have made the move giving away Dinwiddie and what they did. I mean, think about this. You let Jalen Brunson walk, so now you're going to pay Kyrie Irving. You're going to pay an older, more troubled player when you had a young, very team-oriented guy in Brunson. Like, that just makes no sense. Why would you do that? And it worked. I mean, Dallas was in the Western Conference Finals with Brunson and Dinwiddie and those role players. You know, Finley Smith, I think, is a really good defensive player. You had to let him go. So, I mean, I think this thing for Dallas is very problematic. Now, the getting LeBron, man, I don't see that.
All right. Fair enough. Last bit of NBA stuff I definitely want to talk to you about was Frank Vogel. Looks like that there's sources that are saying that he's gonna be the next coach of the Phoenix Suns. Frank Vogel has had a pretty good career so far. You know, obviously had stints with the Pacers, the Magic. He had that championship with the Lakers, and then now he's I don't know if it's official. It might be official as of today, but with the Suns, very defensive minded coach, and
yep.
I think it brings a lot of
great hire. I think.
Yeah, stability to an organization. So yeah, you're liking this one, especially with the pieces they have in place. I heard Chris Paul, like there's questions about Chris Paul's future there and all that stuff. So I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. But I agree. I think that's a good hire too.
Yeah, if you're Chris Paul, you take less money, you come back and you say, hey, get the role players to get us to a title. Vogel, very defensive minded. I loved his press conference. His teams will play that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other piece of it is, can he turn DeAndre Ayton? He historically is good with bigs, right? Hibbert, Anthony Davis. Vogel's did a really good job with big men. So can he turn, Ayton around? I mean, Ayton, I've heard he's lazy, all that. I mean, I don't know the guy. I know when he's in the game, he hits these mid-range jumpers and plays well, right, at times. Mm-hmm. The talent's there from DeAndre Ayton. There's not many bigs left in the league, like true bigs. So I think, look, you got 2 top 10 players in Booker and Durant. Just get some good role players and play some daggone defense. And I think Vogel's going to do that.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, I guess, probably one of the biggest headlines that we've seen the last couple weeks, and I still don't really understand what it means. Like, I'm so confused, but I love the headline because I just like it. I like these types of I keep saying controversial, but these things that make waves in sort of our cultural society, but. Looks like LIV and PGA are going, and I had to list this now because usually when we talk about golf, I put PGA Tour, but now it's professional golf. Let's talk about professional golf because now I can't just say PGA. They're now merging. So I don't know what this means. I know there's probably a lot of PGA players that are, at least from what I've heard, are pretty pissed off about this thing after obviously going to bat for the PGA over the last year while this whole thing is played out and. Seen other
Rory
players
fell on the sword numerous times.
Yeah. Seen other players go and make tons of money. Some of them later in their career, but some of them still, very much kind of near their prime. And here they are. They got to ride the gravy train for a year, and then now they're just right back in the fold. So, like, what is it? Like, how is this going to work? Like, I don't really understand like the economics of this thing.
Well, look, I didn't see. I mean, from everything I've read and watched and listened to today and yesterday, nobody really know. Like, there's not a whole lot of outline from the team aspect. Basically, this joker Mahanahan or whatever that runs PGA, what's his name? This guy apparently in the middle of the night was a wolf in sheep's clothing and just sold out to the Saudis for some money.
Yeah.
Because LIV was dead. I mean, nobody was watching.
Nobody's watching.
Nobody was going. And you said, well, how are they paying these players this money? Look, there's Saudi Arabia. They have more, somebody made an analogy and it really is true. They can clean money better than anybody in the world.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there really is a lot of politics, but yeah, if you're Rory and turn down the $400 million, how does that work? How these guys get paid now? They offered Tiger $800 million. He turned it to what happens now is extremely, extremely interesting. I mean, it really, really is. So, when I look at this, I'm just like, man, this is going to be big.
Yeah.
As far as how it reacts, I don't think, golf. Look, if you're Rory, you don't bet him at the Canadian Open this week. I'll tell you that because he's got to be steaming. I mean, that's the guy every single week has pounded his hands on his chest and basically been the guy saying, LIV golf, is ruining golf and this, that, and the other. I mean, he's been the guy carrying the banner and the PGA's just like, let him stand out there and take the bullets. Meanwhile, we're back in an office with 2 other guys and we're going to merge this whole thing together with nobody knowing.
Yeah.
And I mean,
so weird.
From everything I was reading, LIV golf was done until Koepka won the PGA championship. And I'm like, if you're the PGA Tour, why didn't you just let LIV die? Yeah. Why? Because it's like everything else in America. And it's like everything in life. And I go through this, it's funny. I can win. We won 7 out of 8 games to start June. I go 1-2 last night, 0-2 tonight, and I'm an SOB. Seriously, if I don't just blow, I'm an SOB. Meanwhile, I've lost 18 games in the ninth inning already this year where I had the lead. So everybody is greed. And that's what happened to the PGA Tour. Well, we could just live, die off, and we prove our point. But, you know, that's a lot of money they have over there. What could we do with this money?
Yeah.
And they started spending it before they had it. And so now this poses a bigger problem. Because if the Saudis were able to get golf, because now they're running the PGA Tour. You do know this, right?
No, I didn't. That's what I said.
It's called an investor. No. They're running the whole gamut. Like the PGA Tour is owned by Saudi Arabia now, just so you're aware.
Wow.
So, and they already own a professional soccer team. All right. Are you telling me that Saudi Arabia doesn't have the capability to steal a Luka Doncic or a 3 or 4 main players and start their own league paying these guys 5 times more than what they make?
Oh, I mean, I think it definitely opens the door for that. No question.
I mean, I think the NBA should be on alert.
Interesting.
Because the Saudis aren't stopping at golf. I'm just telling you. Somebody brought up something I heard on a podcast earlier today when I was at the gym. What if they bought the USFL or XFL?
Ooh.
And they wouldn't be able to get a Mahomes because Mahomes isn't a money guy, right? But you got quarterbacks making $50 million. What if they offered to pay a quarterback $150 million?
Yeah.
Just to get the name. You don't think that's possible?
Oh, yeah. Anything's possible, surely. But I don't know. I mean,
the Saudis the NFL is one of the best ran businesses. You don't think if they get PGA, they get a soccer league, they go after the NBA, like, you see where this is going?
Yeah, it's just money.
I'm just saying, this is a scary slope because nobody in America has Saudi money.
Yeah,
and the one thing I know about human beings in this world, 90% of them fall for greed and money every single time like clockwork. Because people are selfish. They obviously don't care about each other. I mean, it's nothing for us to shoot each other up for no reason. They're selfish and they don't care about people. They care about themselves. So you're telling me, look, if Saudi Arabia wanted to right now go start a league, you're saying they wouldn't pay Kyrie a bunch of money and he'd jump?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All you got to do is get one. And then you'll get another and another and another.
Yeah, I think the NBA probably is the biggest target now, I think. And I think they're the ones who are probably, because that's what these guys are. I mean, guys in every league are all about money. There's guys in every league that are all about that. But yeah, the NBA specifically, I could definitely see that. Kyrie, where do they even play these games? So, like, are these, did they play them over there? When these guys signed up, like Phil Mickelson and Brooks Koepka, like, do they go over there and play, or do they still play in the? Where are these all played at?
All over the world.
Just all over the world.
All over the world.
Travel.
U.S. But see, in this deal, you do know the European Tour got roped into this too, so they own that. It's not just the PGA. They own all golf, major golf in the world now.
Sheesh. Wow. Scary.
Like, and they were on the canvas, and like that, money talks. So I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, they're going to have another league. NBA, MLS, USFL or XFL, something like they're going to buy another league in the next 5 years.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you.
You heard it here. I wonder if there's a bet there that we can make. Right?
Before you know it, they'll have Biden dressed up like the Iron Sheik.
Oh, rest in peace, Iron Sheik. Yes. I didn't grow up watching Iron Sheik, but yeah, if you're a wrestling fan, definitely a sad loss this week as well. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's see how that plays out. I don't really know what that means yet, but from what you're telling me, it does sound like there's the ramifications that could definitely make some ripple waves in the future. So we will definitely keep an eye out on that. So as far as NFL goes,
I gotta share this.
What? Go ahead.
Sorry, I gotta share this. 30 points, 20 rebounds, triple doubles with 30 points, 20 rebounds, NBA playoff history. Jabbar did it once. Chamberlain's did it once. Jokic's did it 3 times.
That's crazy.
In this playoff. I
saw that graphic as it popped up. Nuts.
I mean, the man is insane. He's a machine.
The Joker. Let's do a little bit of NFL. Look, we are going to talk about the AFC East tonight. We're going to run down some win total predictions or win total over-unders for each. Talk a little bit about each one's schedule. Before we jump into that, let's talk about a little bit of NFL news. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets decide, well, I'll say Robert Saleh and the Jets. I don't know why it's Aaron Rodgers. Like, well, it should be his team because Aaron Rodgers is awesome.
He's coaching. Saleh isn't coaching anything. Let's be real here.
They cancel camp next week. Apparently, they're going to be playing in the Hall of Fame game. So that was one of the deciding factors.
They're going on a darkness retreat.
And they're going on their darkness retreat with the Swami, the Swami himself, Aaron Rodgers. So Jets are canceling their mini camp. It kind of, I don't know. I mean, I think this is a time for players to really kind of gel. I mean, I know it's one less week of work you're trying to get back because they're going to pick up a little earlier than everyone else in August. But man, I don't know. There could be some chemistry here and potential chemistry making that you're missing out on. Just keeping guys together and being on the practice field together. I don't know about this move.
Well, you got a lot of young kids, but Rodgers has been out with the calf, and I mean. If you got a result to Zach Wilson throwing passes, you might as well let everybody stay home. So I get it.
There you go. I guess that makes sense. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, his former teammate Jordan Love. Reports are at OTAs.
This is a disaster.
He's making huge strides in OTAs and so in minicamp. So
How bad of a quarterback are you if you're making huge strides in shorts and a cutoff t-shirt throwing with a helmet on? I mean, what did they show you before that now with shorts, a cutoff shirt, and a helmet with nobody touching you, you've made huge strides? Yeah. I mean, how bad did you suck before then?
Well, it's not like he's a rookie either. It's not like it's his first year in the league. It's just like, why are we making huge strides now? It's very interesting, storyline for sure.
Look, I've tried to be real positive because I like him, I like the Packers, but man, I mean, I think the Packers are in more trouble than we thought. I mean, that's a good roster, right? We think I know LaFleur is a good coordinator. Is he a great head coach? Yeah, right. We can debate that. We're about to find out. But I know the roster is solid, defense and offense. But huge strides, man. That just, when I saw that today, that just concerned me. I was like, what? Shorts and a t-shirt. What? How bad was he before? He's been there. I mean, he sat behind Aaron Rodgers. And just 2 weeks ago, LaFleur was talking about we got to curb our expectations. Well, look, I get it. He's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is somewhere 13th, 14th, 15th best quarterback all time. I get it, but God bless. I mean, we act like Jordan, or they're acting like Jordan Love is a rookie. And if that's the case, I'm not saying they made a bad move moving off Rodgers because I get he's a prima donna, but there's a whole lot of other things you could have did than go with Jordan Love then. Yeah. So they better hope this pans out because look, I think there's Minnesota and Detroit. And I think Green Bay and Chicago are both 3 to 4 games minimum behind them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and Jordan Love, obviously, highly touted coming out of college. And it's, he's a specimen of a human as far as, the tools, I guess, his physical tools he has. But gosh, anything we've seen from him on the field has just been really concerning. I don't want to compare really when it comes to, but it was like when we when the Titans put Malik Willis out there, this year because Tannehill got hurt and
Malik
Tannehill's
the
not
freak.
Rodgers and Malik's not Jordan. But at the same time, it was kind of like you kind of immediately your eyeballs just kind of the eyeball test, and you kind of just see like, okay, maybe this isn't the future, and I feel like I personally saw that with Jordan Love when he was on the field. When Rodgers was out, and the fact that they're just kind of riding this thing, it's truly bizarre.
It's concerning.
Yeah,
it's concerning. That's all I'll say about it.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the Titans, I want to mention this because I'm glad you put this in the outline tonight. Really, really, really excited.
Yes.
I'm not getting my hopes
it.
up.
I said somewhere, somehow, AJ just creamed himself.
So I'm not getting my hopes up. But Mike Vrabel, head coach of the Titans, said today that they are going to be welcoming DeAndre Hopkins for a visit on Sunday. It'll be the first place that he visits out of all the teams that he's potentially kind of shopping as where to go to. Vrabel in his typical fashion, is very kind of understated about it, didn't make a big deal of it. And I'm not either. It's his first, it's one of many places he's going to, and I'm not going to pretend like there's, a lot of, potential upside for him here this year, depending on what he's looking for. If he's looking for that championship or if he's looking for money, we don't really know what his motivations
money.
are.
I know exactly what his motivations are. Money.
Think so? What makes you say that?
Because look, dude, you can't say back for last Friday, I want to play with an elite quarterback, and they ask you Josh Allen. Yeah. Pat Mahomes. Oh yeah, absolutely. What about Dak Prescott? Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I play with Hurts. You want an elite quarterback, and now you're in the stable with Ryan Tannehill and Will freaking Levis? Okay, just say, I don't give a damn about football. I'm about who's going to pay me. Just say it. Like, just be real. I don't understand why it's so hard.
Okay, yeah.
Just say it. If people would just say what they felt, we wouldn't have this whole emotional, watch out for people's feelings, yada, 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 yada. Right? You know what I mean?
No,
so,
no.
like, just say what it is, because you can't say, I want to play with an elite quarterback. And they were even talking about him reuniting with Deshaun Watson, and then somehow you're visiting the first place I want to run off to my elite quarterback land is Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis. I mean, are you freaking kidding me, guy?
That's the reason you think that is about the money, because it's obviously not about the
at least go one of our places first, so it doesn't look so obvious that you're like just trying to get one last bag. And hey, I'm not mad at him. He's 31. He's probably only got one payday if he can get it.
Right.
So look, hey, I'm like Tupac. I ain't mad at you, bro, but don't lie. I mean, don't lie. I mean, that's like somebody that goes to church just to steal from the offering plate. They didn't, as soon as the offering plates are done passing, they empty it out, they go to the bathroom and leave. It's the same thing. I've seen it happen.
Have you? Really?
Yeah. I may have been the guy to do it.
And that's before you went to the casino after church, just like we talked about last. So church and then casino, and that was when was it right next to the casino? Yeah.
Listen, with my luck in the ninth inning, I need to be in church and nowhere near a casino at this point, right? But I'm just saying, like, I mean, am I right? And here's the other thing: if you're the Titans, you're just as much of a cheating whore as he is, because you won't give AJ Brown money, and now you're going to give D-Hop money.
I mean, who knows what? I don't know. No one knows what he's going to get paid.
I mean, just think about that.
Well, so
that's like that's like breaking up with the psycho chick that's good in bed because she's psycho, and then you get with Betty Homemaker that's once every 6 months. So you're like, all right, I'll go get a new psycho. Well, why don't you just keep the old psycho? There's no difference. You're laughing, but you know I'm right.
There's some truth in there. However, listen,
Amen.
DeAndre has some history.
Somebody get an offering plate.
He's got some history with Vrabel and Tim Kelly, who's now the offensive coordinator, who was once the offensive coordinator in Houston while he was playing. So maybe this is more about some connection that they had. And you know, even though Vrabel's more on, you know, obviously on the defensive side, you know, maybe there's that connection there that kind of bridges and makes it one of the first places to visit.
All right. You put an elite receiver in the same conversation with Mike Vrabel and said there was a connection. The only connection I have ever seen in my life of Ryan Vrabel to offense is turning around and handing the ball off 30 plus freaking times a game. That's all the offense he knows.
Okay. All right.
I mean, am I right or wrong? I mean, I like Vrabel.
I just think you're being hateful now, you know?
I'm being hateful.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about the Titans. They're a disaster. I mean, they are
okay.
I mean, that thing is a disaster. I mean, there is places in Ukraine right now that looks better than their Titans facility. You let AJ Brown walk. You draft, you don't like Tannehill, so you draft Malik Willis. Well, that didn't work out. Then you, instead of drafting a quarterback this year, you draft a quarterback just so you can have his hot girlfriend at the team facilities, Levis's chick. You're talking about trading Derrick Henry, and now you're bringing in D-Hop. They're all over the freaking place. There's no direction in that organization whatsoever. Am I right or wrong? And I like Vrabel, but I mean, they are all over the place.
Well, I mean, it's new GM, so you can't say what happened last year. It's a whole kind of a whole new thing. So maybe that's why it does feel like it's all over the place.
Somebody needs to tell Joe Dirt. I know he's new and don't know what to do, but dear God.
That's funny.
Dirt, you're fired.
We'll see how it all plays out. You know, I think you're going to be in for a little surprise. I think things are a lot more stable in Tennessee and Nashville than you think they are. So I won't be the homer talking about my team on this whole show, but let's just see where
you know how my heart bleeds for Nashville and Vegas. You know I love Nashville.
It's just because of the girls. Don't pretend like you care about Nashville.
My love for Nashville is my love for Nashville. We're not
Daisy Dukes.
Do not quantify my love as materialistic.
Yeah, it's just the party buses.
Vegas, Nashville, and South Beach is where my heart resides.
I see a pattern here, though. Really, it's a lot of skin in this pattern. Not yours specifically.
Well, I mean, you got to have some skin
hot
in
places
here,
where people don't wear that many clothes. Whatever. I don't know. So, well, we'd love to have you anytime. Come, you can come. We can go to a Titans game and you can see it with your own eyes. Maybe we'll change your mind.
Hey,
all right.
I'll come out there and watch him play the Jags.
That would be cool. Let's do that.
So I can see my beautiful flowing blonde locks win his first ever league MVP.
And let's make sure it's the second game, because then we'll go out on, well, I don't know if it's home or away, but if it's the second game, I guess then one of us can decide to wear the dress, you know, depending on how the rest of the season.
Amen.
All right. We can talk about the AFC East?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's better than the NFC least. I mean, that's going to be Philly, and the other three teams are going to be shopping at your local flea market.
Okay. Well, I thought you were going to say AFC South. So thanks for not continuing to just bash on everything.
I love the titties.
The what?
The Tennessee titties.
You're ridiculous.
I mean, I can't remember when they played like the Titans, so they're the titties. I got to have some kind of excitement out of that franchise.
Just, wow. Yeah, you tried to put us third. You tried to put us like third last in the league. This is hilarious. Okay, we'll get to it. We'll shelve it.
Third last? What is third last? Is that a position?
Third to last. Whatever. You said at the bottom of the barrel, it was like Houston, and then you said Arizona, and then like you tried to put the Titans as the third worst, and I was like, don't even. And you're like, oh, and you kind of backtracked on a little bit. It's fine. We don't have to talk about it. I'll roll back the beautiful bean footage at some point.
Yeah,
Buffalo
roll back
Bills.
that bean footage. I'd like to know what you're accusing me of.
Well, no, you didn't. You just thought long and hard about it, but then you know. So, anyways, AFC East, Buffalo Bills. Over under is 10.5. Is that what you're seeing?
Yes, it is. Real quick, just so we have this to start, and then I'll let you do your thing.
Yep.
So Buffalo to win the NFC East plus 190.
Okay.
Jets plus 250. Dolphins plus 290.
Jets have a better chance.
New England, they didn't even list it because there's no shot unless hell freezes over. No, I'm just kidding. Plus 750.
So you're saying Jets have better odds than the Dolphins do?
Well, yeah. I mean, at least Rodgers will play most of the games.
Oh, so now, okay. So now he's a factor. All right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hold on. No, I'm not going to allow you either. Zach Wilson to Aaron Rodgers. Even though Aaron Rodgers is washed up and done, him at his worst is 20 times better than Zach Wilson's best year will ever be.
I agree.
So it's a testament to, yes, Rodgers' greatness from his past, not his present, his past. And it's also a testament to just how god-awful Zach Wilson is. So the Jets should get better instantly. I just think Buffalo's actually plus 130, lower than I thought. Okay. The Jets I just don't think they're going to be what everybody thinks they're going to be. But we can roll through the schedule. You got the schedule?
I do. You want to start with the Bills?
All right. So Buffalo over-under is what, 10.5?
10.5.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
I'm ready.
Cool. Are you ready? Okay, because I don't want to have to
I'm ready.
This. All right. They start the season opener Monday night, September 11th, against New York Jets at New York.
Oh, that's a win. They're going to destroy the Jets.
Okay. All right. Fair. At home versus the Raiders. At Washington.
They win that game. Raiders are a mess.
Okay. And then they're at
Washington. That's 3-0. 3-0.
At home versus Miami. At home in Jacksonville.
I'll give them a loss. 3-1.
You give them a loss in Miami. Okay. At home.
Yeah.
In Miami. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess it's early enough in the season.
Because Tua will still be healthy at that point.
Yeah, and it's not too cold in Buffalo quite yet, so that could be, that might work. Jacksonville, at home in Jacksonville.
They lose that game.
Is this the...
That's London.
That's London game. Yep, that's the London game. So they lose that game to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
God, you were just all over Jacksonville. I can't even stand it. They're at home against New York.
New York.
Oh,
Giants?
sorry, Giants. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Giants, they won't win 4 games.
Okay. So that's what, 5-2? What is that?
4-2.
4-2. Then they go to New England. Win.
5-2.
At home against Tampa Bay. That's a prime video on Thursday night. 6-2.
Okay.
Then they go at Cincinnati. Cincinnati.
That's a loss. 6-3.
Oh, okay. You love you some Cincinnati too. God, you're so predictable. Then at home versus Denver.
That's a loss. 6-4.
Oh, wow. Okay. At home versus the Jets.
I gave him the win the first time, right?
Yeah. Yes, you did.
6-5. 6-5.
They split it with the Jets then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're at Philadelphia.
Win 7-5.
Ooh, okay. At Kansas City after the bye week 14.
Win 8-5.
You're saying they go to Kansas City and win that game?
Yeah, it's regular season.
Okay, yeah, true. Then they're at home versus Dallas. That's an interesting trip for them.
Win.
Then they are in LA against the Chargers.
Uh,
on Peacock.
Mike,
No.
I'll give them the loss, 9-6.
Okay. At home versus New England.
Win, 10-6.
They sweep the New England series, you think? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they are at Miami to finish the season. Interesting. That's in January. So
No, they win that. 11-6. And what was the over under? 10.5?
10.5.
Yeah, they're right around that number.
Okay. The Philly
10-12 is where they'll fall.
The Philly game. Did you say win or loss on that? I can't remember. I thought you said win.
I said win.
So the Philly and the Kansas City back to back like that, even though it was a bye week in between, could tip the scales for you one way or the other. Those are going to be tough ones.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet the over or the under. I think they're going to fall 11-6. I think it's going to be right there, but
yeah,
I'll go 11-6.
And when we think about these lines,
that's
right,
a tough schedule.
Yeah, that is actually is a tough schedule. It really is. I mean, they're playing the best team in the AFC South, quote unquote, best team. And then yeah, they got a couple cupcakes like the Giants.
What is that, quote unquote? What do you mean? They're by far the best team in the AFC South, AJ.
I don't want to get into it. So, and then they got a couple cupcakes, Tampa Bay and the Giants. But yeah, other than that, there's not really a slouch. We'll see what New England does, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a tough schedule. So when they come out with these lines, when they come out with these lines, are these the would you call them the early lines or the lead lines? Or they come out with Vegas comes out with, and will these change as we go on here, or will this be the same when we get to the regular season? Could things?
No, your win totals might change half game. They're not going to change much unless there's a huge injury. Now, what will happen is, they have all the lines out already for every game for the whole year.
Okay. Right. Those are the ones that are super early.
And then
you can potentially capitalize.
Those will change. So like right now, week 1, that Buffalo Jets game, Buffalo's -2. I would go money line $1.30 and put your house on Buffalo.
All right. Okay, great. Well, let's move on to the Patriots.
Your house, though, not mine.
Yeah. We'll make sure you get the whole thing, not half. So just make sure you make your money on that. Don't lose any juice on it. So New England Patriots are going to be, oh shoot, I had it right in front of me here. 7.5. Okay. Their schedule.
Man, Vegas is good at this.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Well, yeah, I mean, they're probably doing the same exercise we are right now, but more often. And so they are at home to open the season against Philadelphia.
Oh, Philly's good. You know what? New England wins that game.
At home? Wow. Okay. Are you just down on Philadelphia?
Yeah, they're retiring Brady's jersey. The mojo will get them across the finish line.
Oh, okay. All right. Then they stay at home. They're going to play Miami that next Sunday.
Oh, they'll lose that one.
Lose that one. All right.
1-1.
Then they go to New York to play the Jets. That's a hard one to predict. Okay. Then they'll
split with the Jets.
They'll split with the Jets. And you think they'll split with the Jets will split with Buffalo as well. So let's keep track of that for later. Then they go to Dallas. America's game.
Loss 1-3.
Wow. Then they go, they host the Saints at home.
Win 2-3.
And then they go to Vegas, play the Raiders.
Loss 2-4.
And then they host Buffalo at home.
2-5. That's a loss. 2-5.
And then they're at Miami the following week.
It's a loss. 2-6.
A lot of these are getting a lot of these early division games out of the way early in the schedule. I'm noticing. I wonder if that's going to be.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Then they go to Washington. Your Commanders.
Win 3-6.
And then to Indianapolis.
Win 4-6. Only because they play back-to-back horrible young quarterbacks and Belichick feast off them.
Sorry, I misspoke, and I don't know if this will change your answer. Those are both at home. Washington and Indianapolis.
They'll definitely win both of them.
Okay.
They'll win both of them.
And the Indy game's in London, by the way.
Yeah, Indy's not winning more than like 4 games this year. I feel good with that.
Just want to make sure. Bye week, and then...
At some point in time early on, Indianapolis will be like, oh, dear God, we were the idiots that drafted Anthony Richardson. Crap.
Hey, I was totally fine with that. Then they travel. They go to New York to play the Giants.
That's a win, too. 5-6.
Okay. Then they host the Los Angeles Chargers.
That's a loss. 5-7.
Mm-hmm. And then they go to travel again. They're at Pittsburgh following week. Prime Video Thursday night.
That's a loss. 5-8. That's a loss. 5-8.
And then they host Kansas City at home.
That's a loss. 5-9.
And then they are at Denver the following week.
That's a loss. 5-10.
Then they're at Buffalo.
That's a win. 6-10.
You said they split. That's right. And then they host the New York Jets to finish out the season at home.
7-10. What's their over/under win total?
7.5.
Well, look, there's no way I'm betting the over. You either go under or nothing with New England. They're not. I'll tell you this: they're not getting to 8 wins. I mean, there's not 8 wins there.
On its face, I would agree with you, but I would never would count Belichick out. I would never bet the under there personally. I mean, he could surprise.
Well, I've never saw him do anything without Tom Brady.
Well, I mean, he's always got a competitive team, though. They stay in games, especially late in the season. I don't know. I'm just saying. I wouldn't.
We'd always be drunk.
I don't know if I'm just saying. I don't know if I would bet the under there, but you say it's to stay.
Well, I'm not saying I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't bet it either way. I'm just saying you either go under or you don't bet it. Yep. There's absolutely no way. Like if somebody had a gun to your head and said, AJ, you got to take one or the other for your life. Which way you going? Enough. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm with you. I wouldn't make that bet. I don't feel good enough about it.
Yeah. All right. The Miami Dolphins. Do you want to know the over-under this time, or do you want to just try your hand at the schedule here and just see how close you get?
Let's do that. Let's switch it up for these last two.
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, I like this. It's more fun. All right. So, why is my page reloading? Go ahead. All right, there we go. To start the season, Dolphins are at LA against the Chargers.
Loss.
Then they are at New England.
Win.
Right, you said that was a loss in the last one, so that works. And then they host Denver at home.
Win.
Then they are at Buffalo.
Win.
Wow. What? Is that 4-1?
3-1.
3-1. Then next 2 games are at home: New York Giants.
Win.
And the Carolina Panthers.
Win.
Yeah, I agree. Then they go to Philadelphia.
Loss.
Okay. And then they host the Patriots. Again.
Win. 7-2.
7-2. Wow. Okay. You like yourself
somewhere Jake's in a corner giddy.
He's probably listening and he's probably like hiding.
He's like a teenage boy right now. Got his first phone number.
He's probably the producer right now, just like hiding in the back. And then they host Kansas City at home. Actually, is that the London game again? Yes, that's a London game. So it's Kansas City.
It's actually in London. Mm-hmm. I'll go Dolphins. 8-2 for the fish.
Dolphins, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, you're breaking up a bit. And then they do actually host the Las Vegas Raiders at home after their bye week.
Loss
After the bye week. All right. Then they travel to New York to play the Jets.
Loss.
Then they're at Washington.
A win. So they're 9-4 and the worst happens. Tua goes down now.
Yeah. Monday Night Football in Miami against Tennessee.
Loss.
Really? You're just saying that to make me happy.
I told you, Tua goes down.
You're just patronizing me now. All right. And then they host the Jets at home.
Win.
Okay.
Mike White gets his revenge on the Jets.
Dallas at home.
Loss.
At Baltimore.
Loss.
And they finish out the season with Buffalo at home.
I think they're 10-7.
10-7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Over under 9.5.
No, 9-8. Sorry, 9-8. They're 9-8. I think they go 9-8. Over under is 9.5.
Yeah.
Is it really?
It is.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Gosh, nailed it.
Yeah, I think they finished with. I think they finished 9-8, and I said Buffalo would finish what 11-6.
Yes, and they're 10.5. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I feel confident with that.
All right.
And I got New England 7-10. Yeah, I feel good with all that. Feel like I know what I'm doing.
It's a strong division. Yeah. Yeah. Let's harness.
It's very strong. It's a very good division. The games are going to be fantastic.
Yep. Last but not least,
watching Belichick trying to tame these three offenses will be good.
Yeah. What's going on with that? Is it Patricia still there? Or not Patricia? Are they still doing the multiple?
I mean, does it matter?
Offensive coordinator thing? Bill O'Brien.
No, Bill O'Brien's the offensive coordinator now.
Gosh,
the QB whisperer, as they call him.
With that. He's a decent coordinator. He's just a terrible head coach.
Hey, look, that'll be where that'll be where Hopkins visits next after Tennessee. He'll go hang out with another retread.
But he was a great, he's a great coordinator. But he wasn't a great coach. He completely annihilated that franchise, and so I don't know. D Hop might not have good taste in his mouth.
Yeah, he did. Bill O'Brien's like North Turner. Offensive coordinator is his calling, not head coach.
I say the best for last. The New York Jets. Jets. New York Jets.
Oh, Lord. Well, no sense to do this. He already said at the Swiftie concert, Jets have won the Super Bowl.
I tell you, Taylor Swift just broke up with that guy that she was dating for like a month. Aaron Rodgers. I think it's going to happen.
You're kidding me.
All right. I got my win total here.
Now, how old is she and how old is he?
He's 32, 33. No, maybe 34. He's what, 38, 39?
She's that old, huh?
5 years younger than me.
I know how old he is, but she's that old.
In her 30s. I think she's 5 years. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, something like that. All right, New York Jets.
Yeah, she'll date him till she watches him play quarterback.
All right. She loves New York, though. She got that song about New York. I don't know. You probably never heard it. You have daughters. Of course you've heard it. Nah, he's got a song about
I thought that was Jay-Z.
It's okay. And Billy Joel. Simon and Garfunkel. Anyways, we're going to skip over Buffalo, New England, and Miami games. Monday night is played at home versus Buffalo. Week 2, they're going to go to Dallas.
Win.
That's going to be a win. Okay. Yeah. Play New England. We already decided they're going to split the schedule with everyone in the division. So they are at home versus Kansas City. Week 4.
That's a loss. So 4-4.
Okay. At Denver.
That's a win.
Okay. At home versus Philadelphia.
That's a loss. So we got them at 5-5.
5-5.
Yeah.
Yes. Then they have a bye week. Philadelphia plays all these teams in this division at least once. Really crazy. Bye week, week 7, and week 8, they're at New York Giants.
That's a win. So 6-5.
5. All right. Then at home versus Los Angeles Chargers.
Win 7-5.
All right. Then they go to Vegas, play the Raiders. The Raiders.
I'm gonna give the Raiders a win.
Okay.
So we got 7-6.
7-6. Yes. Then it's Buffalo, Miami, and then they're at home against Atlanta.
Oh, that's a win. I mean, Atlanta's going to be horrible, right?
Yeah, terrible. At home against Houston.
Oh, that's a win. 9.
Okay.
So that puts them at 9-5.
9-5. Yep.
Okay.
It's Miami, and then at home against Washington.
Yeah, that's a win. So 10-5.
Mm-hmm. And then they go to Cleveland.
That's a loss.
It's a loss.
That's
Prime
a loss.
Video Thursday night game. Wow. Okay.
That's a loss.
9
So
10.
what is that? 10 or that's 10-7.
10-7.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Over under's 9.5.
Of course it is.
They certainly seem like they have the, I would say, easiest schedule. You can't really say that in the NFL, but it does seem like they have a good path, right?
Well, we always know these teams are going to come up and be, there's always going to be a surprise, right? Like somebody's going to surprise you somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yep, but it's
so it's just a matter of who does the surprising, right?
Yeah, between them and Miami and Buffalo could go either way. But you don't think they win the division. You just think they get in a wild card potentially.
I do think they get in the wild card. I still feel like the division's in pretty good shape with Buffalo. Mm-hmm. I feel good about that. I think Buffalo stays right where they need to be.
Cool. Yep. All right. Well, that's your AFC breakdown, the early win totals projections, and the long story short, probably shouldn't bet any of those because it's going to be really, really tough to predict. So,
they're going to be excruciating.
Yeah. Any other thoughts from John's betting corner while we close this one out?
No, man, just we just got to keep grinding it out here. Hopefully this Denver, if we can get this Denver, Florida, and then we had the Denver, Vegas I gave out, that all totals up 8 units. We had 5 and then a 3. If we could get those, that would really bring us back to a better situation. But like I said, baseball is just a grind. Guys, we're going to be 150 games over 500. I say this every year. Didn't like getting off to the 2-month start we have, but God, some way, somehow we'll get there. I just never know how, but we'll get there.
All right. There you have it. Nice and to the point for John's betting corner. Sorry for any technical difficulties that may have caused some weirdness in the episode, guys, but always glad to have you, our winners. And next week we are going to talk about another division.
Let's do the NFC least.
NFC least. So we're sticking with the East. We're jumping over to the NFC, that is. Did AFC tonight. So hope you all enjoyed that. Stay tuned for next week. John, of course, has his Break the Board podcast every day, so please tune into that as well. reach out to us, info@BCCS Sports. If you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, you want to ask a question on the show, you can reach John on Twitter at BCCS Sports as well. We wish Chop all the best. Hope you're having a great time, buddy. We're trying to hold it down here as best we can, and look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Take care.
All right. Love you, my winners.